Welcome back to another Land Cruiser video. This is the update on the Red Cruiser. Blown head gasket on number 6. Yesterday I started tearing up the engine already. I decided to go ahead and start off on the exhaust side because I knew the exhaust was going to be much more easier. We went ahead and cracked the 30mm crank bow already. I did the bump start method using a breaker bar. It broke. The breaker bar I used was a Harbor Freight. That one broke, and then I went to AutoZone and bought a new one. So if you guys don't know how to do that method, search it up. We got the fan out, the fan shroud out. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the radiator next so we don't damage it. You can see here this nipple was already broken, so make sure if you have a good one, don't break that nipple because this is very important. So we're gonna go ahead and remove the fan next. We went ahead and removed the water pump, all the coolant lines. I went ahead and removed the air filter cleaner because I wanted more room, as much room as possible, so got rid of that. And then we have the exhaust manifold out already. A few of the exhaust bolts on the far end, they were super loose, causing exhaust leak. And then the valve cover, the bolts on the rear, they were super loose as well, so the previous person that did the job probably didn't do a good job in it. We're gonna go ahead and put a new water pump, thermostat, all that fun stuff. And this is the oil cooler, I believe. We're probably gonna go ahead and crack that open, clean it, and put a new gasket on it too while we're in there, and clean as much as grease as possible while we're at it. I already went and deleted my AC system, so I don't have AC. So AC compressor, AC line's already out. Once I get the head off, I'm gonna go ahead and remove that AC line, the aluminum line back there. And then the rear heater has been deleted already from the previous owner. So that line right there is the rear heater hose. There's one, and then two. I'm gonna try to delete as much as possible once I get the head off. Valve cover's already been opened. I cracked it open, checked it out already. Everything looks good. It's top dead center right now. Remove the distributor already. Spark plug wires, throttle body, that's been removed. And the EGR, we're gonna be deleting the EGR, so EGR has been taken off already. And I was starting to work on this side. Tomorrow I'll work on the rest. Tomorrow we'll go ahead and remove the radiator. We'll go ahead and remove the alternator. Everything's still good. We'll go ahead and remove this coolant hose right here, coolant pipe right here. And then we'll slowly go ahead and remove the exhaust, the intake manifold. Battery tray has been removed. You have to remove the battery tray in order to get to the radiator. And if you're gonna do head gasket, just remove all this. I want to delete the canister. If you guys have delete the canister on your 80 series, let me know. The charcoal canister, what it does is, this line here is the vapor line from the gas tank. So all the vapor, I'm not completely sure how it works, but usually like the vapor comes in, gets filtered, and then it goes back into the intake and gets burned up or something like that. On my 22RE Green Bees, they deleted it, and what they did was they just ran the line. They just pretty much just made a long line and just dumped it through the bottom of the vehicle. So like it's just like a breather line. So I'm trying to see if I can do that, because this thing here actually takes a lot of space. And if you do delete this, you can go ahead and delete all these vacuum lines and these plugs down here, which is under this guy. So I might have to do a little bit of research and see what I can do. This right here is the axle breather, so that stays. Brake lines. And we're going to be replacing some of the hoses. This is the brake booster hose. This one's still okay, but all the coolant hose we're going to replace. This coolant hose goes here. This one's new, so we'll keep that one. There's a coolant hose that goes from here to here. We're replacing that one. The coolant hose for the rear heater hose, we're replacing that one. Pesket heater hose, that's been replaced already. That one right there. We're pretty much doing a lot of new things while we're here. All new gaskets, new fuel filter. Gotta go ahead and rebuild the injectors, put new seals on those. New front main seal and new oil pump seal. So we're gonna do all that. Distributor O-ring, we have all that fun stuff. And the water pump as well, I mentioned that earlier. We're gonna go ahead and get new, I already have new radiator hose. There's 3 radiator hose, 1, 2, and 3. And then I want to get a new radiator too. This one's still good besides this broken nipple. But we'll see what happened. I might just clean and flush this one out as much as possible and reuse it. But I would like to get a new radiator if possible. But this thing's like 300 bucks brand new. Denso. I told you guys about the exhaust leak and the exhaust gasket right there. That one's pretty bad. It's horrible, so that's why it was leaking. And it looks like the previous person that did this job, I'm assuming they used like the cheapest parts available, because those gaskets don't look OEM. These gaskets aren't OEM. And I think these studs here, these are good studs. All these studs were good right here. They didn't come out, but I don't think these are the original, the proper studs. The studs that I know of, at the end of it, it has an E10 head like this guy. But I'm probably going to go ahead and reuse all these studs. And then over here, all the studs came out with the bolts. So I'm going to go ahead and buy new studs for those. And then I have all the nuts already. The exhaust manifold nuts are very important. They're one-time use only. So I have all that available. And you also need 4 for these guys down here. 4 input nuts as well, same nuts. So we're going to go ahead and order some of that stuff. Valve cover. We have all these seals, the valve cover seals. Once I have everything apart, I'm very picky when I do my things. I like to clean as much as possible. So once I have all my stuff out, like all the throttle body, anything that's aluminum, metal, I like to clean it as much as possible. So we're gonna go ahead and super clean it, super clean degreaser, and then pressure wash it, because I want everything to be clean. I'm not gonna spray paint the valve cover. I'm gonna leave it the way it is, because I like the bare aluminum look. And also, once we get this out, what I'm gonna do, because this is an inline 6, the cylinder head's probably over 100 plus pounds. I'm gonna remove the hood, and then I'm gonna get my engine lift and try to come from the side. And I order a low leveler. So a low leveler, you attach that to your engine lift, and then you can lift things up and have a level instead of a cricket. So that's the plan. I'm gonna use my engine lift to lift the head out, and hopefully that helps me. Because if you try to lift it by yourself, it's gonna be very awkward, because it's so long. It's like 3 feet long and, like I say, 150 plus pound, I bet. If it was a 4-cylinder like a 3RZ, it's definitely doable, because I was able to do it on a 3RZ, and it was a little bit hard, but it's doable. But I know for the inline 6, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be heavy, so we're not gonna try to do that. And then all right here, we'll go ahead and super clean that, degrease it. We're not gonna tackle. I'm not gonna tackle the timing chain this time. It looks good. Timing chain looks good and all. Once I get the radiator out, since we don't have the AC anymore, I'm gonna go ahead and delete the AC condenser, or whatever they call it. It's this piece right here. It looks like the radiator, but it's not. So we're gonna delete that. And then this right here stays. This is the transmission cooler, I believe, so that stays. But once we get the radiator out, we'll delete that, get rid of all the AC units. And then right over here, this right here, and this right here is the AC line too. This whole aluminum stuff they're all AC lines, so we're gonna delete all that AC line off. And then again, I'll figure out the canister. Might want to delete this. If I don't delete this, I'll probably just take this out, just so I have more room. And power steering, we're probably gonna go ahead and probably remove this right here too, and just dump the fluid, because I want to put new fluid anyways. The hose looks good, so I probably won't be replacing those hoses. Alternator still works fine. We're putting new belts. We got new Toyota belts for that. And then the old belts, they were still decent, so I'll keep those for spares. The radiator hose, the old radiator hose, and the belts, they're like okay. They're like trail spares, so I'm still keeping all those for spares, because you know it's good enough for spares. And then we're gonna do the EGR delete. So same thing like we did with the Lexus. We'll cut that off, put the resistor. These are all LED harness and stuff like that. And what else is there to mention? Fuel filter, we're gonna do the oil change. We'll change out the oil pump. Not the oil pump, the oil filter, once we get all that open. And this thing has a block heater. I'll probably go ahead and I might remove the block heater and put a new freeze plug in there. Don't really have a need for that up here. And what else is there? To remove the radiator, we might have to remove the grill, so I'll see what happens, because this is a stud, and then on the end of that there's a nut. I don't know why they did it that way, but that's a nut, so we have to release that, and then release this, and then this bracket goes, it would go onto a new radiator if you were doing a new radiator, but leave it the way it is, and then transmission lines. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys are new to the 1FZ, hopefully this video will give you guys a clue to what you are going to be expecting. Lots of fun stuff for sure. So that's my update so far. Probably won't be doing anything today. Hang out with my kid today, and then tomorrow, this weekend, will be all tune-up day. Hopefully we get it out by next week. So, fuel injectors, fuel rails. This is the coolant hose too right here. This one goes into the throttle body, and then it goes all the way down where the pesky heater hose is. So you might want to replace that if this is bad. This one here still looks pretty good. And then there's another one right here that goes to the throttle body. I ripped that one in the process, so I'm gonna go and replace that. So nothing bad at all. But I want to delete the EGR in the canister because I want to clean up this side over here as much as possible. So that's it for the update, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys got any questions, let me know in the comments section below. You can follow my Instagram, NuttyNu_4x4. Watch my stories, and I keep you guys posted there when I'm doing stuff up to date and stuff like that. So thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.